In the world of football, the fight against racism has once again taken center stage. The beautiful game, a universal language of unity and passion, has been marred by a controversy that's as ugly as it gets. We turn our focus to a distressing incident involving Real Madrid's young star, Vinicius Jr. The Brazilian forward has found himself at the eye of a storm with incidents of racial abuse sending shockwaves through La Liga and beyond. Prepare for a deep dive into a controversy that underscores the critical need for change, the urgency of action over apologies, and the importance of standing united against racism. Let's delve into the incidents, the reactions, and the broader implications of this sobering scenario. The Vinicius unsettling episode. An unsettling episode unfolded in the Mestalla during Real Madrid's 1-0 defeat to Valencia, a sight that painfully reminded us of the shadows lurking within the beautiful game of football. Vinicius Jr, the vibrant 22-year-old talent, found himself the target of racial chants, a disturbing act that provoked an immediate and justified outrage. The scene was a spectacle of defiance and frustration. The match was brought to a temporary halt in the second half as Vinicius, driven by indignation, interrupted the referee, directing his attention towards the crowd that had showered him with abusive chants. The events took a darker turn when Vinicius received a red card in the additional time following an altercation with striker Hugo Duro. His dismissal, however, was far from the end of his protest. In a post-match tweet, Vinicius unleashed his frustration against the recurring racial abuse prevalent in La Liga. Racism is normal in La Liga, a beautiful nation which welcomed me and which I love, but which agreed to export the image of a racist country to the world. He lamented how Spain, a country once revered for hosting football greats like Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, was now being recognized for a disheartening reason: racism. Vinicius did not hold back from expressing his sorrow for the Spanish people who disagreed with this ill reputation, but expressed the unfortunate reality. Despite this dark cloud, Vinicius stood tall and resolute, vowing to fight against racism. "I am strong and I will go to the end against racists, even if it is far from here." His Monday night tweet further amplified the issue, detailing the many unsettling instances of racism he encountered throughout the season. He expressed his discontent with the minimal action taken against the perpetrators and questioned the inertia of sponsors and broadcasters who remained silent against such acts. His heartfelt call to action rallied support, including FIFA President Gianni Infantino, who urged La Liga to stop talking, start acting, laying out a 5-point plan to address the issue. In solidarity with Vinicius, Real Madrid issued a statement on Monday firmly condemning the incident and filing a report with the Attorney General's office, urging a thorough investigation and appropriate consequences for the guilty. Vinicius and La Liga president crossroad. In the aftermath of an unsettling episode of racism during the match between Real Madrid and Valencia, the spotlight shifts to a vocal altercation between La Liga president Javier Tebas and Real Madrid winger Vinicius Jr. The incident, which shook the foundations of the sport, sparked a public feud, bringing to the forefront the pressing issue of racism in football. Javier Tebas, a figure of authority in Spanish football, confronted Vinicius, accusing him of neglecting scheduled meetings with the league to address his grievances. Further, he warned the Brazilian footballer to gather his information thoroughly, implying manipulation at play. His comments were met with a fierce response from Vinicius. The Real Madrid player voiced his outrage on Twitter, berating the La Liga president for his lack of solidarity and callous approach. He tweeted, "Once again, instead of criticizing racists, the president of La Liga appears on social media to attack me. Omitting yourself only makes you equal to racists. I want actions and punishments." In response to the escalating situation, La Liga stated its intention to investigate the incident thoroughly, assuring that it will pursue any identified hate crime with legal action. The league is seeking all available footage to shed light on the controversy that unfolded during the match. Meanwhile, Valencia took decisive action against the perpetrators, announcing they had identified one of the abusive fans who would impose a lifetime ban. In a club statement, Valencia condemned such behavior and asserted that it contradicts the values the club and its fans uphold. Valencia further cited a previous instance from 2019 where they exhibited a similar stance against racism, handing out a lifetime ban to a fan displaying fascist gestures towards Arsenal fans during a UEFA Europa League match. The unsettling events involving Vinicius are not isolated, with multiple complaints lodged in the past for racist insults and chanting against the player. A case before a court in Mallorca stands sign to the distressing issue, resulting from fans caught on camera racially abusing the forward. Furthermore, Spanish police are examining a potential hate crime involving a mannequin in Vinicius' number 20 shirt being hung from a bridge near Real Madrid's training ground earlier in January. United against racism. In the unsettling aftermath of the Real Madrid-Valencia match, managers from both sides of the football spectrum stood in solidarity against the racist abuse aimed at Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid's manager Carlo Ancelotti expressed his profound disappointment and outrage at the incident. In a stern voice, Ancelotti said, "What we saw today is unacceptable," an entire stadium chanting racist slurs. He emphasized the gravity of the issue by choosing to forego the usual post-match football analysis, focusing instead on the pressing issue of racism in La Liga. Ancelotti candidly expressed his dismay, revealing that he implored the referee to halt the game. He championed Vinicius, elevating him as the most important player in the world, and vehemently demanded an end to such incidents, insisting that such abuse warrants an immediate stoppage of the match. His sentiments extended onto Twitter, where he further conveyed his distress over the sad display at the Mestalla, urging the need for decisive action. His tweet concluded with a resolute stand against racism, not just in football but across all aspects of society. On Monday, Barcelona's manager Javi Hernandez echoed Ancelotti's statement, expressing his support for Vinicius and outright condemnation of the scenes from the previous night. He expressed dismay, stating, "It's a shame that this can happen in 2023. Any act of racism on any pitch against any player, there are no excuses." Xavi lauded Valencia's efforts to identify and charge those responsible, advocating for a strong stand against racism. Both Ancelotti and Xavi's voices reflect a united stand against racism, reminding us that the essence of football lies in camaraderie, respect and sportsmanship. Valencia respond to Ancelotti. The fallout from the game between Valencia and Real Madrid continues to reverberate across the football world, with Valencia's corporate director and spokesperson Javier Solis delivering a pointed response to the comments made by Carlo Ancelotti, the Real Madrid manager. Mr. Solis voiced his discontent, stating, "In light of the unfortunate and completely incorrect statements by Mr. Ancelotti, in which he branded all of the fans at Mestalla as racist, the club cannot tolerate this." He vehemently rejected these claims, suggesting a possible language misunderstanding as the root of Ancelotti's comments. Valencia's stance against racism is clear, with Solis outlining the club's efforts to identify the individuals responsible for the offensive actions. Yet, he firmly dismissed the broad generalization of Valencia's fans as racists. "We understand that when Ancelotti realizes the mistake he has made and the very serious statements he has made, he should apologize," Solis affirmed, reflecting the club's call for accountability. Earlier, Valencia had released a statement on their website expressing their condemnation of the incident and reaffirming their commitment to respect and sportsmanship in football. Valencia wished to publicly condemn insults and attacks of all kinds in football, it read. While acknowledging the incident as an isolated episode, the club stressed that such behaviors were incompatible with Valencia's values and identity. It pledged to conduct a thorough investigation, promising stringent measures against those found guilty. The statement concluded on a positive note, acknowledging and thanking the more than 46,000 fans for their support, drawing a stark contrast between the isolated acts of hate and the united front of football enthusiasts. Time to take action. Darren Lewis of the Daily Mirror, speaking to Sky Sports, stressed the urgent need for proactive measures in tackling racism in football, particularly in Spain. According to Lewis, the customary post-incident apologies from clubs, as evidenced by Valencia's recent response, are no longer sufficient. It's all very well for clubs to come out, like Valencia have done, and apologize after the event, Lewis began. But the fact is that action isn't being taken, not just to protect some of the caliber of a Vinicius Jr, but also black players in general. He highlighted the recurring incidents of racial abuse as the root cause of Spain's current reputation, stating, "That's the reason why Vinicius Jr says Spain is seen as a country of racists." Lewis voiced the harsh truth that in 2023, the sporting arena is not an acceptable platform for racial abuse. He suggested a drastic approach for black players to reclaim their power in such situations. If they are in a situation like that, the only way they will retain their power is to walk from the field of play. He further emphasized the urgency of the issue, declaring, "Black men do not go to work in 2023 to be racially abused." And with that, we've come to the end of this gripping, albeit distressing controversy involving Vinicius Jr and the blatant act of racism he's been subjected to. Stay tuned to our channel as we continue to shine a light on these important issues. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video informative and subscribe to our channel for more comprehensive and timely updates on all things football. Let's stand together in the fight against racism. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay strong, and remember, change begins with us.